What's up, and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast. I'm your host, Brad Valdez, and man, we have a special episode today, and we got our friends of the podcast from the North, man. I appreciate you guys for being here. Take your time out of this recruiting trip, man, and stop by the home studio.
Oh, thank you for having us. You know, we're always excited to get on the show with you guys. Appreciate your love for it.
Hey, man, I'm from the state, so anytime I can do something in the bluegrass, I'm going to do it.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. But if you guys don't know, this is Coach Jay Novak, and we got Zach Jennings Sr. These guys are from Calumet College of St. Joseph. I always forget that part, Coach. I always forget it, man. But they are, as you can see, man, they are the back-to-back Midwest Sprint Football League champions, and this is back-to-back, man.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. We have a great group of guys, great group of coaches, and it's been very special.
It took a while for it to set in, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's surreal, but it's been a good time, and I thank him for it because he brought me on board, and we're just having the time of our life right now.
There you go, man. And I did, man. I'm getting used to working with the phone a little bit here, and this is what I did.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
Let's go, man. And this is what it's about, spotlighting your program and sprint football, man. It's just an amazing feat. And people, like the stigma of it, it's 11-man football.
Most definitely. I mean, the only difference is you have a bunch of guys that can move their feet and run. I go to these high schools and I talk to some of these guys that are interested in playing college ball, and I'm telling you, there's a ton of collisions. A lot of dudes running to the ball. It's exciting. Come out and check it out. Sprint football.
Yeah, let's go. And Coach, you've had this past 2 years, you've had a phenomenal run, but it didn't start that way. You had a little adversity, and just being back here, for the second time, back-to-back champs. Zach, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so, my wife and I, again, we're from Kentucky, and we've coached high school football in the state for a few years, and we had the opportunity to take the step up to the college level with a few programs, and we just kept saying, now's not the right time, and we finally had a conversation one night that, if another opportunity came up, we'd have to say yes, because eventually you say no too many times, people are going to stop calling you. So
right.
We had an opportunity, and it looked like a duck, it walked like a duck, it quacked like a duck, but always that old adage of it's too good to be true, it probably is. And we took an opportunity on ourselves and took a chance, and we went out to the other institution, and it had been around for 151 years, and there 5-6 months and it shut down, and it was kind of like, what are we going to do now? And it was dark there for a few days, and we were kind of just wondering what was going to be the next step. Are we going to go back to high school? We're going to have to sit out. What are we going to do? And this guy called us, and a few other institutions called, but we had 2 conversations on the phone, and we had met each other previously, but we never really had real conversations. And those 2 conversations we had didn't consist of football. Everybody knows football. It's not a rocket science game. It's year 11, R11. So we're going to a little festival in town out in the city we're living in, and I ran back inside to grab something that I'd forgotten, and I walk outside while we're on the phone. The shortest conversation we ever had, because we can't be on the phone less than 30 minutes anymore, but we were on the phone for 5 minutes that day.
I like to talk.
And I walked outside, and I looked at my wife, and I said, we're going to Whiting, Indiana, and we're going to coach Calumet College. And she just looked at me. She goes, where the hell is Whiting, Indiana? And I said, I don't know. We're going to figure it out. And pulled in, and we were still looking for a home when we got there. And he helped us, and people within the institution helped us, and we found a home. And we've been there ever since. And it's been something don't want to pinch yourself because you don't want to wake up from it. So, it started a little rough, but the results are better than what I could ever have dreamed they were going to be.
Yeah, there you go. And you had a special moment, you know what I mean, winning this championship, with your son, man. Yeah. Talk about that.
I can't, because I can't put it into words, man. I know that I was in the office on that Friday before we left, because we always leave, the day before. And I'm in there, and he knows I'm the card guy. I got to have my sheets, and I got to, I'm meticulous and probably get on his nerves a little bit. But I'm cutting my cards up, and we live across the street from campus. And I text my son. I said, "Hey, come to my office." And he comes in there, and as I'm going through the sheets, I said, "This doesn't happen, Coaches don't, or dads don't win championships with their sons as coaches and stuff like that." And I said, "No matter what happens tomorrow, I'm proud of you." And then the day of the game, I walked up to him, put my arm around him. I said, "Hey, after this is over, win or lose, we find each other, and we give each other a hug." So after the game was over, he's getting water dumped on him, and they're chasing me with water bottles. And I got players trying to grab me, and I kept pushing guys away because I'm trying to find him, because it's just something that, if my career was over tomorrow, or I get a phone call in the next 30 seconds saying, "Zach, you're fired," I would be 100% okay with it, because that can't be topped. I can't even put it into words. I'm so proud of him, and it's just really a dream come true.
Yeah, and Coach, talk about Coach Jay. Sorry, I was saying Coach, but talk about that, man. I've looked at the pictures online. You know what I mean, and the smile on those guys' face when they won that just fired me up, because I'm like, man, all the work that they put into it. You know what I mean, and it showed right here, man. But just you know what, during this episode, I might put some pics in here just because the smiles. How did that feel?
Man, you just gave me the chills, because, like Coach said, it hasn't been sunshine and rainbows. It's, the first one right here, we started off 0-3. I mean, we were just trying to figure out how to win a ball game, and then one ball game turned into 2, 3, and then we won 6. And from there we started off. What was our streak? 11 or 12?
11 or 12.
So that went into the season this year. And our guys were, they were laser focused. This is year 3 for them. But again, back to that adversity, and we needed to be reminded this year a little bit. St. Mary's did that for us. During the regular season, they smacked us in the face, and Bellarmine almost got us too in that overtime game. But both of those games really taught us, hey, we need to take a step back, really be grateful for what we're doing, and we gotta lock in, because there's some great teams in this league. So to do what we're doing right now is, again, pinch me, because it's one of those deals where you set the standard. We're not fighting those fights that we did. We were talking prior to the broadcast of year 1 of just setting the standard. We have guys now for 3 years that have been here, and they've really helped us kind of mold into what we want, and the expectation to see those smiles on their face. They earn that stuff, and man, I will tell you, they got to get a taller guy to try to dump that water on me, because with that Gatorade, because I got knocked over the head. I was in concussion protocol, man.
Stop cussing; it's a C word.
But unbelievable effort. I mean, all glory to the good Lord above, man, to bring us all together on this stage and be able to make things happen.
There you go. And as a head coach, you're a humble guy, you know what I mean? But you got, a prestigious award, as coach of the year. Obviously you're going to shine light on your staff and all that, and the young men. But man, that's a major feat of getting that coach of the year.
Man, that's just a byproduct of all them guys that believed in me, from the players to the administration to the coaches, and the little things that nobody sees them doing to make all this possible. So again, I mean, the unbelievable accolade. It's still hard to believe that they did give me that award, but again, it's a team award.
It's a team award. I love it, man. I love that answer. It's because you gotta, you're the head of the snake, man. So you gotta take the losses too, though, Coach. Right?
Oh yeah. There's again, it's funny you say that, because I'll run into guys around the region, up north where we're from, and they'll ask me, former referees, because I was a high school coach for 25 years, and they'll say, "What? All of a sudden, man, you're a genius?" And I'm like, "No, dude. Look, wait a minute, man. It's there was a lot of suffering along the way and a lot of learning, from your mistakes, and that's all you can do. And we preach that with the kids, and we do it as far as our staff too. And we just try to put ourselves in good position.
Yeah. Yeah. And talk about, you're making this a tradition, man, up there, leading that, Zach, just talk about that, leading that holiday parade, man.
That's fun. The kids complain about the cold, but it's a good time. We're trying to build this into a place where kids want to come, and not just football. We're trying to build Calumet College to, right now basketball team's doing pretty well. They got off to a hot start. They won their first 5 games of the year. I think our dance team last week, they won like a
regionals.
Yeah, they won regionals last week's what it was. So, it's just we're trying to build it as where everybody can eat off the plate and everybody wants to come to Calumet College. I mean, it's a beautiful. If you haven't been there, you got to get up there. I mean, it's beautiful. It's right on the lakefront. You're 25 miles from Chicago. There's a lot of great places to eat up there. The guys love Burrito Stop. they live in Burrito Stop.
We need that NIL deal, man.
Yeah, we got to get it. But we're trying to build it to a place where not just kids want to come to play football and other sports, but we're trying to build it where mom and dad feel comfortable and safe sending their kids to us for 4 years. And that's one unique view I think I had on it was I was going through the process with my kid. Schools that were reaching out to him and the coaches that I knew, it's like, all right, dude, tell me the stuff I don't want to hear. So we're trying to make it to where mom and dads are like, that's a great place up there.
Right.
Not just for the kids, like, I want to go up there and play football. Well, there's more to it than football. You got to go to class too. So it's a whole thing. It's not just about winning in football. It's about winning in the classroom. It's about being in the community because we do a lot of community service. We dedicate a lot of our time to going out and doing things around the region. So the tradition on the field, yeah, but we're trying to build it more for the whole campus as well, And
if you don't mind me piggybacking off.
No, go ahead, Coach.
As far as what others won't know is, our coaches and extended staff. When it talks about taking care of the kids when they come up there, it's if they're hungry, we're going to make sure they're eating. I mean, if they're cold, we're going to make sure they have coats. If they need something for their dorm room, whatever the case, there's a lot of extension of family there that we make sure, even toothpaste, deodorant, whatever it takes. We do all that. We have people that donate to that, and it's we really do take care of them, and it's great to see those smiles again, like you said. So
yeah. Yeah, and it just fired me up. If you guys don't know, just go check out the Calumet st.Joseph.com. That's all I did, man. And I hit the sport and I looked at all the pictures, man. I was like, man, that just fires me up. Even the coaches, you know what I mean? Show some love to a couple of those guys, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? Before I even get to them, Miss Melody Clark, she's our financial aid lady. She does. I mean, you want to talk about between just dropping food off for the kids, making sure they have bedding, we all kind of switch and make sure they got rides to the airport and back during breaks. I mean, we check on them, make sure, mentally they're good. She's huge to what we do, and she's kind of like team mom, but I'm going to give her the
there you go. I love it, man.
Yeah,
I love it. That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, she's unbelievable, and not only with the kids but with the parents too. She's got that great relationships that helps kind of bridge what we got together. And, Coach, let's see, Coach Buckner is unbelievable. Coach Mel Hay, again, all guys that pitch in. Chris Davenport, Sam Daniels, Jason Tapper. All right, and am I leaving anybody out?
Yeah, you're leaving 2 guys out.
Who am I leaving out?
So you're leaving out Davis and you're leaving out Phil.
Yeah, so Eric Davis Eric Davis has been a long time head coach out in Indiana, Central Indiana, and he's joined our staff, and he's been unbelievable up in the booth and recruiting wise, and he's been a nice guy to have up there, knows what's going on, and kind of say, hey guys, there's a messing up over here, man. You need to do this, So you got to have those guys, right? And Phil Holt, he joined us from Texas, offensive line coach. So him and Coach Buckner do a heck of a job and got them guys going. But again, we all pitch in together, make sure everybody's taken care of.
Yeah, and in the championship game, we talked about this off air before we got on. I DM'd Zach, and I was like, yo, run the damn ball. You know what I mean? And I'll put that picture in, and it was just watching that game. You just felt like you were putting your will on them. And talk about that a little bit, Zach.
Well, people really don't know this. Before I got to Calumet, I'd never coached offense in my life. I was a defensive line guy and linebackers guy. So he tells me he wants me to coach receivers. And I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out. So I brought that up because I fancy myself an intense dude, and you know I like physical ball. So my old head coach when I was at Grant County, and Jacob Morris, he's up at Dixie, he's the OC up there now. We were talking one time. I was like, dude, I like 6 to 3 games. I don't like a whole lot of scoring. So that's kind of changed a little bit the last couple of years.
Right.
But you know, our receiving core, you know, we brought in these guys who are used to catching the ball all the time, and now we're getting them to block. And we've gotten to the point where they're okay if they don't catch the ball. They just want to block because they like putting their hands on people. So as far as us, the type of ball we run, we like that physical style of football, and it takes buy-in for something like that. You don't have to draw up a whole bunch of stuff. You don't have to make it complicated. If you can just get the guys to buy in and trust you because you've put the work into them, you've put the extra time in there, and not just in the film room, but you're caring for them as a person, they'll run through walls for you. And that's how we've been able to brand our style of football is we're going to run the ball, but you need to trust us when we tell you to do this, and they do. And we've gotten to the point where we trust them. So our style of football, like you said, run the damn ball. You're always going to hear me tell him to run the ball. I would much rather run the ball than put it in the air. My guys don't like me hearing this, but they know how I feel.
They find themselves wide open, though, you know, when we do throw it to them.
So as far as that goes, man, it's just that's what we like to do, and we keep it simple. We keep it plain English. We don't use a lot of terminology.
Right.
And we're able to be successful with it.
There you go. And just expand on that, Coach. You know what I mean? What made you like put that into the game plan? Did you see something, or you just wanted to be like, yo, I'm gonna put my nuts on the table, and that's what we're gonna roll with?
Hey, man, I'm gonna grab this thing. This is a great example right here. Okay, that's when you overcomplicate things, and I'm probably gonna make somebody mad for that. But really, it just turned into. I mean, we had the best. So it started with recruiting. Building those relationships, getting guys on, right?
Right.
Then we build one of the better defenses in the league. And with that, you know, we had probably the better special teams too, because we had a guy named Jared Sides, unbelievable. He was a special team player of the year a couple times in the MSFL. But we were lacking a little bit on offense, you know, as far as we couldn't get out of our own way. Penalties, turning the ball over, defense back on the field. You know, that St. Mary's game, the first game we ever played, we got up 28-6, lost in overtime, 32. I don't even know what the score was, by 2 points. But it was we couldn't get it. We couldn't get a first down in the second half. You know, and again, we were just trying to do too much. So we did make a change, and you know, we put Coach Hay in there. And again, he just wanted to match that physicality that we had on defense and special teams, and it's been the formula, and we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah, there you go. And this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring Calumet College of St. Joseph in here and really spotlight them. So, man, make sure you guys go and give them a follow. I'll put their Twitter right down in here. Reach out to them, man. They are good dudes. And hey, they're making their name here in the sprint football. And if you haven't, hey, the stigmatism from that game, you just have to go and watch the film, man. It's a physical game. It's 11-on-11, and it's fun to watch. You know the thing, just to expand on what you're saying, is we've got some guys that probably could play at some higher levels, okay? But we were able to recruit those guys, them trusting us and us trusting them, and you know, they're not going to get buried on a 200-man roster, 180-man roster. We're going to have 80 to 90 kids, and we're going to be maxed out. There's 55 special team positions. There's 11 on offense, 11 on defense. Do the math. You know, you got an opportunity to play right away here, and if you could play, even the guys that, you know, that play right now, they know they got some freshmen coming for them, and they better be ready. So that's the standard. Yeah, and you guys are a great follow. You know, go and follow these guys. But like I said, it's more than just football up there, man. It's family, and it's just a great spot to be at. You know, I made the comment before we got on. It's just like, man, I seen the picture that Zach posted. You know, Chicago, you can just see it right there from the skyline, man. It's just a beautiful place, and we wanted to get up there, man. It was just, you know, but life happened, and it's just we just didn't get up there this year. But it's just I just love it, you know, interacting with you guys online or like on Twitter. You know, because you're bringing that, you know, you make me feel like, damn, I'm missing something when I want to get up there and check it out. There's a couple of pizza spots that you said too.
Hey, we like to eat. Look at me.
Let's go.
Take it a little malnati's,
But with that landscape of college football, you know what I mean? Well, I'm huge down here, or we're not huge, but we're well known down here in Kentucky for the high school stuff. But really, man, just the landscape of college, it's changing. You got the portal, you got NIL. Does that affect you guys too as well?
I'm going to jump in first. One of the bigger reasons we've had the success we have is because guys are staying, and yes, there's opportunities. We've had guys leave. Some of them are bouncing around, and they've made the comment, I should have probably stayed. And at the end of the day, yes, that's a factor because, people, I'm okay with if somebody wants to come in, get some college film, and they want to, go off to a Division I, Division II, and we'll support that. We'll write those recommendations. I got one on my desk right now for a former player I'm ready to write for St. Francis University. And it's like one of those deals where I'm going to help you get to where you want to be in this life. And no matter what, you don't have to be here, and we want you here. But a lot of them, they all had a lot of them had aspirations and they stayed. And here we are.
Back to back. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, and like he said, the portal really hasn't – I don't want to say it hasn't hit us. We had three guys leave last year. One of them, like he said, you get the letter from him on the desk. I had a coach call me about him a couple weeks ago, and it's about that trust thing. He's like, Coach, I needed a reference. He dropped your number in 2 seconds. I was like, okay, good. Well, he's a great kid, but if it doesn't work out, I'd love to have him back. But we have a great retention rate right now. The guys, one of the things I think sets us apart is, it's not just football. Our doors are rarely closed. I live right across the street, and so I see the guys in town all the time at the gas station and stuff like that. My wife will occasionally cook for them, and so we haven't really had a real issue with the transfer portal, so to speak. We're bringing a couple guys in this year right now. I think we got 3 guys coming in right now. It really hasn't phased us. NIL doesn't affect us right now. None of that stuff because, we're not delusional. We know we're small-time football. And you come play for us is because you want to play football. It's because you love the game. And again, we have those success stories where we've sent 3 guys to the NCAA in the last couple of years. And, we got a guy on the roster right now who's got an opportunity to go D2 right now, and he's weighing those options. And God forbid we don't want that young man to go, but we're not going to stand in his way. He's a hell of a football player, but if he tells us, Coach, I want to go, it's like, tell me what you need from me. I hate to replace you. I hate to go try to recruit for you, but let me know. So when we get back into recruiting, we're like, okay, we got this hole right here to fill, but we're happy for it. And then hopefully he comes back and visits someday. So that's where it takes us as far as your question with transfers and recruiting and NIL stuff.
Yeah, I love it. It's just because, I'm not familiar with it. So it's just, you always hear NIL, you hear the portal, down here in high school, it's just that, you just transfer schools.
Yeah, I mean, down here in high school now, there's like the portal. I see
exactly,
on social media all the time. These kids are transferring middle schools now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just begins with the relationships that you build. I'm a player's coach. People will look at me sometimes from the outside and say, how the heck does this guy get anything done? I'm very approachable. My door's always open, but I'll hold you accountable too along the way. It's one of those deals, and they know that. But everybody has their own style, and but at the end of the day, especially with this generation, you got to teach them. They're going to mess up, and you just got to get, today is a new day, man, and you learn from the past, and those are the things that I think you build the relationships, and the school that we're at is very small. It's like a big family over there. Our president will be walking up to you and saying, "Hey, man, you're from Louisville, man. X, Y, and Z. You got a dog, a cat, whatever." I mean, that's just how she is. She's amazing how she remembers all the, all the different names and the different things about people. And again, that adds to same thing. I gotta just sit here for a second. My wife Andrea Novak, she's been amazing. She's been very supportive of me and the staff. She she cooked a whole bunch of food for the kids. We had some guys that couldn't get home there for Thanksgiving, and we had them over to the house, and we're watching football, talking trash, and again building those relationships. And I just want to make sure I thank her, because sometimes it's like. You get on different questions, and I just want to interject there. So when she watches this, she knows that very appreciative of
Well,
it.
and that's a special moment during the season, you know what I mean? Or just during this year, and that was like basically my next question is like, what special moment, like, can you take from this season and really like, man, look back on it and be like, I'm happy that this happened. And that's a great story right there. It's just, being there for the young men that just can't get home or whatever, that's what I love that. Zach, well, what's a moment that you had this season besides the championship?
Besides doing it with my son.
Right. Yeah.
This is not a shameless plug. Again, my wife and I, we do everything. We make all football decisions together. I mean, and you can ask him whenever. And then, Zach Cooper, I know he's going to see this. He knows this too. Whenever we go anywhere for football, if there's an interview or interest and stuff like that, hi, my name's this is the person you got to impress, not me, because I know why I'm here. Now you got to explain it to her. So I'm always grateful that her and I can do that together. But as far as from a team standpoint, I'm really happy for our guys. There's a lot of guys on our roster, not a lot. There's a decent amount. There's a few guys on our roster who come from a that term broken home, where they don't have the male influence at home or whatever the case is, and they haven't had a lot of success, be it on the field winning in high school or just in general, just life in general. We got guys on the roster who now they're seeing that it's okay to succeed, and they're seeing it's okay to lead, and that's I love that. I grew up in Covington, and it's a little inner city up there, and a lot of my friends didn't have that leadership at home, and to be able to see the young man come in day zero, and we're a little rough around the edges, and then we get into the postseason, and then even after the season, he's still going to class. He's going to be an honor. I'm thinking of one guy in particular. I'm not going to say the name, but one guy in particular. He's going to be probably an honor student. It's going to cost him and I a little bit more money, but he's going to be an honor student now. And those are the success stories that as far as a coach, and those are the ones you want to see, because the wins are great. This stuff's great, but when you're building leaders and future community leaders, that's the most fun. That's the neat stuff to see.
Yeah, I'd much rather have those relationships than, of course you want to win, you want to strive to do this. It was an amazing accomplishment, but those relationships is where you're really winning.
Yeah, and you guys had a 17 guys get recognized for their play on the field, man. But being you guys, you sound like you're in a you're on them about hey, you got to be that student athlete first, man. But talk about them. A couple of those 17 guys that got recognition, man. That's unbelievable.
Go ahead first, man. This is your show.
Same me, man. I'm a visitor, man. Hey, so, a guy stands out on defense, is Trevor Belsey. He's the MSFL Player of the Year. That guy probably should have been the MSFL Defensive Player of the Year, I'm sorry. Probably ever since his freshman year. The guy's lights out. I mean, and he got some flack for winning that award online. Some guys were, unfortunately going back and forth on it, but, you put on the tape, the dude's going to get off a block. He's going to he's going to destruct some stuff, and he was well deserving of that award. And he's a 4.0 student, off the field too, student of the game. He's going to be potentially a GA for us. He's going to make a heck of a coach down the road when his playing career's over, and he's one that stands up. Jared Cottrell's another one on that defense. He plays our hybrid safety look. That guy. He's had some injury problems with his hamstring. So we moved him to D-line. The dude had like 3 sacks. We move him over. We had to play Bellarmine, and they had an unbelievable passing attack. And we put him in the secondary on one leg, man. But he just fought through and somehow figured it out. Even got an interception in that game. The dude's just a dude. He finds a ball. And obviously, you got Quindarius Davis, one of the best corners in the league. Tony Madrano, he was the defensive All-American Player of the Year, so that was huge. Well, both leagues, the East Coast and West Coast, so that was a huge award for him. We got some stuff planned for that award, for him. And again, on offense, Nino Barbosa, absolute warrior. We moved him to quarterback. I believe we're The record?
He's like 13-1 since we moved him back there. So.
It was back in that 0-3 thing, and I'm like, dude, look, I just want the guy. I want that ball, the ball in his hand, 100% of the time. And it's not always went right. And some guys scheme him up, but the guy's he's a player, and he's gonna bust one. So he's one that sticks out. Jamal Warnell, he's a kid out of Louisiana. He turned into an unbelievable force between the tackles, at running back, and he ended up getting all conference. Zaire Davis is another guy that stepped up this year. He's out of Jacksonville, Florida. He's a speed track guy, and he's starting to figure. I mean, he played everything in high school, but as far as from freshman year to this year, he had a huge step up. Tay Hamilton is very physical, but I'm going to keep talking over and
Let's
over.
go,
So
baby.
go ahead and,
That's what it's about, man. You got them dudes, and you got to show them love, man. That's all that hard work.
I got to show up. So you got Ryan Davenport too. He's an offensive tackle for us. Tristan Dedeker did a great job at center. We got Jose Cortez at guard. George Montez, I call him the Honey Badger. He'll come hit you. He'll hold you. And also David Escobar, another guy out of Compton, California, played right tackle, did a great job for us. I'll stop it there. Go ahead. You go next. Anybody left?
Yeah, there's one left. There's actually two left.
Go for it, man.
That you left out. Aside from just in general, like all the guys, man. Like we had,
You got Robbie Hale on defense. Robbie, I love you.
I'm not even talking about Robbie.
Go ahead.
First of all, for me personally, we had three of our receivers make second team all conference. So you left those guys out. You didn't say Stevie and Trey Simmons and
Josh Tejada. I know.
okay.
I'm messing up.
So, but two guys in particular one of them didn't get any postseason honors, by the way. Damon Johnson and Anthony Stevenson, because St. Mary's had the kid. What was that kid's name? That was his name, Reese.
Oh yeah, Reese.
He is a problem.
He's
he's a problem. He's a dude out of
Absolute
Ben Davis,
stud.
and he just torched us the regular season conference champion. I mean, he gave us nightmares. So when we went back the second time, Damon made all conference, first team all conference. But Anthony didn't get any postseason honors. But those two in the championship game, and that game alone, with the way that they were able to take care of business, those guys deserve. Damon got his postseason, but Anthony deserves some type of recognition for that. And Anthony's an older player. He's got a daughter that my daughter's age. So for those two to do the things that they did in the championship game, that was incredible. And not just that, the way our entire team responded going into that week, and the way the defense responded, because Trevor got ejected. The way we were able, the way the guys were able to adjust was incredible. It's just amazing.
So we got to say Alexander Delachey is an animal in the middle for us out of Las Vegas too. I love the kid, heck of a leader. But
he didn't listen to a word I said. He was just thinking the whole time.
He just said targeting. We had a couple guys. One against Bellarmine in the playoff. It was Alexander Delachey. That's why I mentioned his name. So he got held out for the second half because we don't have a replay. So he ended up getting disqualified. They reviewed it, and they found it wasn't targeting, so he got to play in the championship game. But in the championship game, the MSFL linebacker, we had a big blow right before halftime. He got tossed for targeting, and again, there's no replay. We got a little bit of a problem here. So when we have those MSFL calls, I'm going to go ahead and kind of suggest we get some huddle sideline, because we need to do that, because it ain't fair to the guys that and it's a bang play. It's hard on the officials too. No. I mean, they're trying to protect everybody. I get it, and I support it, but it's just we need something in place there. But.
Yes. Yeah. Phenomenal. I love it, man. Spotlight those guys and show them some love, man. Cause they won two of these, man. I love it, man. And having you guys, just say their name. That's what they love. You know what I mean? Get that love, but you guys, you just said that, from Las Vegas, from Florida, you know what I mean? You Calumet, you're recruiting, countrywide, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you leave here, the big we build those relationships, team building. We do a lot of off the field, getting them talking about personal stuff and getting to know each other. So when we face adversity together, we can't let each other down, and along with that relationship and going through the ups and downs of the season, when you get on in life, and you might be able to help each other out. You're going to have those connections, that networking. It's huge.
That's phenomenal, man. I just got a couple more questions, man. I could talk all night, man, about
Me too.
To you guys, man. But let's talk about personally for you guys, man. What did you learn about yourself this season?
I thought it would be easier to be a coach versus a dad sometimes. So personally, I watch tape all the time. I watch a lot of tape, more than my wife likes me to watch. So I don't just watch our offense. I watch our defense because I'm a defensive guy by trade. And I love defense, and I watch my kid in practice or in a game, and I'll go pull him out of his room. What is this? What are you doing? So personally, I thought it was going to be a lot easier to turn that off. It wasn't. But so. And then I also learned that I've chilled out a little bit, and I'm not exactly a big fan of that. But it's starting to dawn on me that you can be more relaxed instead of intense all the time. Because as I've learned, as I've grown, as I've gotten older, and this is going into my third season. Not everybody responds to the stuff that you see a Nick Saban doing. Not everybody responds to the stuff that you see Kirby Smart doing. Some of those guys need that just kind of laid back, like, hey man, come here, let's talk about this.
Let's talk. Yeah.
So that's one thing for me personally. I think I've grown in a little bit more. Less time on the field, more time in the film room. Less grinding, more rest. And that's a lot that he's taught me, because when we had a bye week last year, my first season here, when we had a bye week in 2023. And he's like, well, we're going to give the guys a few extra days off. I kind of looked at him like, what are you talking about? Like, we just lost. We cannot give these guys a few days off. We're 1-3. This is not going to happen. There was a method to the madness, and I've started to see that, that rest, just for those guys, but for us, step away from the game and recharge is more vital than being on the field sometimes. Because like I said earlier, we all know football. But, if you're exhausted and you're worn down and you're grinded out and all those great things that are fun sometimes, but, you don't always need them.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned about myself probably in going to year 3 up here.
Yeah, so it's as far as me, I'm pretty similar to what he's I'm on the same train as far as I'm big. I'm OCD as heck on game day, especially game day. Now it turns into travel day, then game day, right? So, everything's got to be on the timeline, right?
Gotcha. Yep.
So I would literally lose my mind if something didn't go right. Because, you know how it goes. You're dealing with a lot of moving parts. You got 80 dudes, you got 7, 8, 10 coaches, and you got 5 to 6 training staff. And I'm sitting there going, all right, minute by minute, this is going to, oh, man, what is going on? What is taking, you know what I mean? And then I'm driving myself nuts. So I've learned to kind of chill out and lean on these guys a little more as, hey, look, we're not on, I'll still put the timeline out there, but hey, look, we probably are not going to do this offensive walkthrough or this defensive walkthrough or special team walkthrough. How about we just do the special team call out so everybody knows what they're on, right? So I've learned to back off a little bit too, and I think it's kind of helped out for the program, the guys, because when I'm stressed, what are they seeing? They're stressed, and right. I need them ready and locked in. And you're going to win the ball game by Thursday anyways. Friday's a walkthrough. Saturday, go get it on. Let's go get what we put our work into, right? It's payday. So I've learned that, and I really, the whole staff, I appreciate them for that. So
there you go. And this is my last question, man. We're in the holiday season, man. Do you guys have any like family traditions that you do?
Well, my tradition was to watch Army beat Navy, but that went out the window today. Yeah, we do some things at the house. Like the other day, we make it a point to go to Bass Pro Shop and see Santa every year. But we try to just play it low key around the holidays. We don't really go anywhere. Santa comes to the house and the kids open their presents and then destroy the house, and we got to clean it all up, and the wife gets mad at me. But that's pretty much our holiday tradition right there. And I'm trying to learn to take a couple days off in the process, but I don't do a very good job of that.
No, well, the big thing, I unfortunately lost my mom last year, and before April, before the season, before the 23 season, and she used to bring us all together, So it's been an adjustment. What we'll have it over at my sister-in-law's or something, but still miss mom a little bit, because we do some, we just play different games and laugh and stuff like that. We still got dad around, so we hang out with dad and we laugh, and he tells me old stories of former cops. So it's amazing, to be able to talk and be with him. And, as far as me and my wife, we go to the Chris Kendall market up there, and which I'm going to take you, I promise. And as soon as I get back, and we just kind of hang up there in downtown Chicago. So that's kind of our tradition. So.
Hey, there you go. This has been a phenomenal episode, man. I really appreciate you guys, making that swing towards the the home studio and just really, represent, the hashtag Region 219.
Love it.
I love it, man. It fires me up, man. You guys, hey, give them a follow. I'll put their Twitter down here now. And there's one. I got one question for you, man. Yep. You know what I mean? When they're doing this, when you get a DM, what are you looking for? Because I know you're heavily on that part of that side, in recruiting. What do you need? Like huddle film or what?
Yeah, it always starts with the huddle film because that's how you get recognized. So make sure you get with your coach and make sure you guys put some tape together. Because I'm going to be real, I'm not going to watch a 5-minute tape. I'm probably going to watch the first couple plays on offense, and I'm going to see if you got some defensive tape. So, we're going to watch those first few plays, and then after that, make sure you handle business in the classroom. If you could have your transcript on the ready, if you could have your coach's phone number ready for us too, because we're going to follow up with him. Make your profile a business card, and then with that too, understand that. The first couple conversations, and I posted this on social media a few times, the first couple conversations, we're not talking about an offer. First conversations, we're trying to find out if we work for you and if you work for us. It just can't be, we don't do the offer tracing thing. If there's interest on both sides and we're having that conversation, understand that offer is going to come later in the game. We're doing our vetting. We're doing our background. We want to bring you up for 4 years. We want you to get a degree.
Right.
We want you to be set up, all those great things. We want you to make sure that this is where you want to be for the next 4 years. So be patient in the game. Go through the process with us, because if we're continuing to communicate, there's interest. Don't stress about the offer. Everybody wants that instant gratification of posting it. Well, I want to see you post your acceptance letter to Calumet College. I want to see you talk about, your teammates that you're with right now, especially you junior guys. Be the senior that you needed as a junior. That goes a long way. Be that leader. So, having that film ready for us is great, but the other stuff that we're going to get into in our conversations, understand that offer is not coming in our first conversation, first 2-3 conversations. We're going to have a real get to know each other moment before we get to that point.
Yeah, and I mean there'll be times where they'll reach out to me on Twitter and I'll look at their tape, and I'll say, man, you'd be a great fit here. And it's amazing the responses I get. Oh, so is that an offer, coach? No, not even close. Because we do that vetting. I want to watch the film, and when I get on the phone with somebody, I'm going to critique them a little bit. We like this, we like that, and you need to work on this. And, it's a little more personable. And I think we kind of get to that point where we find out if they are the right fit for us and we are for them. Right. Our vice president, Johnny Craig, will say it all the time, hey, we got to make sure that you're the right fit for us and us the right fit for you. But that's so true. It's so true. And we've taken a flyer on guys and it just didn't work out. And we're not in that position anymore. They got to be the right fit for us, character and everything, as far as, keep your socials cleaned up. And, like you said, it's a business card and this is a business decision and it's a family decision. It's got to be the right decision for the fam.
Got you. Okay, yeah, because I don't know if you guys watch player profiles, but we ask certain 2 questions, and we always start with it is, who's your support system? You know what I mean? And what does your transcript look like if we were recruiters, coming in? And that's what we try to lead with every time we do a player profile, just so, they can understand, we want to know your background a little bit. We want to know how you are as a student athlete. We've been coaching, high school football for 10 years now. I've been doing it. So that's what I want to know. I want to know about your support system. I want to know about you before we get into what do you got to work on to get better in the game. Them are the 2 main keys of taking that next step. So that's what I wanted to hear from you guys, what you really want to, so we don't waste our time when we're doing player profiles. We're gonna smack them with the first 2 questions and really understand who they are.
And the one thing I would say to recruits too is be careful who's surrounding you too. And if it's their interest, they're your best interest, you know, and if they're helping you elevate, keep them around, obviously. And you know if they're not, you know, if it's a selfish decision for them. You know, there's a lot of people that we run across that they're, you know, they have affiliations to a different school, so they're pushing them to that school, and it might not be a great fit for you, you know. But you gotta be honest with yourself and really pay attention.
And there you go. I love this episode, man, and it's for you guys to get to know these guys from Calumet College of St. Joseph. The hashtag Region 219, man, very proud, and it's just a great, you know, the proof's in the pudding, man. You know, back-to-back champs, and you're making good men for the future, and that's what it's about, man. And I love to spotlight coaches that are, you know, leaders of young men, and you guys are solid at it, man.
Hey, we appreciate that, and we appreciate you being able to, you know, get our product out there and our word, and you guys are very important to us too, and continue to grow.
Like I said, man, I'm a Kentucky kid, so anytime I can come down here and hang out with you guys, and anytime I'm in the area, I'm going to swing by. You know, we appreciate you guys having us on.
Hey, like I said, hey, you guys need anything? Doors always open, man. You guys are here. Hey, well, let's make this a tradition, man.
And let us know when you're in the region.
Absolutely.
Let us know when you're in the region.
Yeah, like I always said, everyone has a story. We are here for them to tell it. Cleats to Whistle podcast.